Hi folks, welcome to my channel. I'm an American who's been living in Germany for more than 20 years now, and I consider myself fairly fluent in the German language. What I mean by that is I have no problems communicating with the Germans in ihrer Sprache. I can read German and understand everything. And in my time living here in Germany, I worked in sales, multiple sales jobs, and have sold to Germans in every corner of this country, in all of their weird dialects. I did it. I was able to communicate. However, no matter how good I think I am at German, there are still a lot of things in this language that just trip me up, or I just don't understand, or make me giggle. Let me give y'all a perfect example. Y'all see this stool here? Do you see this chair? Now, when I look at my chair, at all sides, at the top, underneath, I see no genitalia. And I must say, in all of my years of owning this chair, it has never, ever once declared its gender to me. My chair has never told me that it identifies as male or female or gender neutral or whatever. Nope. But yet, this is a thing in the German language. Der Stuhl is a boy. This is a thing in the German language. Feminine, masculine, and neutral words. Why? Why Germany? And more importantly, how? How? I will never understand how the Germans have decided which inanimate object is of which gender. Part of me is convinced that the Germans, they like things complicated. They like to overthink. And folks, I'll tell you what, 20-some years here in Germany, I've seen this overthinking over and over and over again. From rules on top of rules, or how here in Germany, in order to achieve some simple things, which should be simple things, data that should be saved in computers, instead you find yourself over and over filling out the same forms, fighting through the bureaucracy, just trying to get through the paperwork and the red tape. But at the same time, there's just questions because it's just too much, and why? Just trying to achieve something simple. And how many jobs have I had in this country where I worked next to some German who, in my opinion, wasted way too much time talking about what we're going to do today, reanalyzing the paperwork or the plans, or then maybe once again reorganizing the human beings and the tools that are already there ready to be used. Just how many times I worked next to that German that spent so much time with the thinky and the blah blah blah, when I'm standing there thinking, I could have had this project done already. I digress. But you see, I'm just saying, even after being here for so long, there's just still things I hang on I just can't accept. And these things I hang on, I pick at them, and they distract me. And a great example of this would be German words that this silly American thinks they sound the same. But they're not the same. And if you tell a German, you hear no difference. They are the same. Well then, the Germans will begin repeating and enunciating, maybe even getting louder, trying to be clear, in order to clarify for your foreign ears. They're not the same. But they're not the same. They'll tell you that there is a difference. Just listen. But my silly American brain, it ain't having it. Oh, I play their game. I speak their language. But really, too often, my brain just wanders off when it realized that this word, it sounds just like this other word that I learned in German. And then another result of that is that really trips me up, for example, in spelling. I will think of other word instead of the word I'm trying to spell. And in some situations, that can be embarrassing. But sometimes when I hear these words that to me sound the same, but the Germans tell me that they're not the same, sometimes it makes me giggle. Let's get into it. So today, I picked out a few German words that tend to trip me up every time I hear them. And if you happen to be a German dog owner, you might want to watch to the end. Maybe you can answer my questions, especially if you own a boy dog. But generally with these words, like sometimes I have to think twice about what was said, and I mean always I have to really concentrate on spelling when I realize, it's what that word that sounds like that other word. But it's not that word. And as a foreigner, you gotta pay attention to this crap because it changes and helps you form the whole damn sentence. You know, the der, die, das crap. And I'll tell you what, sometimes Germans have gotten frustrated with me on this. Like, why can't I hear what is to their German ears the obvious difference in these words? But sometimes they have a little laugh at my silly arguments. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you think down below in a comment. And if you too got any words that trip you up. You know, this video idea came to me recently when one of my neighbors stopped by for a short little visit. This particular neighbor knows me very well. We are very good friends. I consider him like family. We worked together for years. But most importantly, he gets my stupid sense of humor. Well, you see, this particular neighbor, he stopped by for this visit while we were in the middle of a heat wave. And when he entered my apartment and I asked him how he was doing, he walked in and he looked at me and he said, "Ugh, this weather is very gay today." And well, I agreed. He was right. So let's start right there. And I just want to let you know, I'm going to get a little bit of help from Google Translate today. So if you're a non-German speaker watching this video, or maybe you're like trying to learn German and you don't believe me, you don't just have to go on my word. You can listen and tell me if you hear a damn difference. You see, just in case you're not a native English speaker, or maybe you just don't know, for example, when the weather is really hot and humid and like the air is just thick and sticky, we would say, for example, this is really muggy weather. Google, how would I say muggy weather in German?
Schwüles Wetter.
I see. And Google, how would I say gay weather if I wanted to in German?
Schwules Wetter.
Did you hear a difference? I hear no difference. And muggy weather again?
Schwüles Wetter.
And Google, give me gay weather one more time just to make it clear to my viewers.
Schwules Wetter.
I'm asking you, do you hear a difference? Because I don't hear a difference. Let me know down below in a comment. But they're not the same. Let's move on to the next word. Now let me tell you something, folks. I am the wrong person to ever go to for dating advice. Don't ask me. But I will tell you this. If you're a foreigner here in Germany and you meet up with a guy, and maybe he says he wants to meet up with you, well, you better pay close attention if he wants to meet up with you in der Nacht, or if he wants to meet up with you, Nacht. What's more, if he says that he wants to meet up with you in der Nacht, well, that's not going to be a normal first date. Google, how do I say night in German?
Nacht.
Can you give me that again? Night in German?
Nacht.
Thanks, Google. Now tell me how I say nude in German.
Nackt.
What was that? The word for nude or naked in German?
Nackt.
I hear no difference. Night in German?
Nacht.
Now nude.
Nackt.
There is no damn difference. I'm on to you, Germany. But they're not the same. On to the next word. Let's talk about this Ami and my You see, here in Germany, you'll hear the Germans refer to Americans as Amis. Now, proper would be Amerikaner for a boy and Amerikanerin for a girl, but it's very common to hear people just say, Ami. And Google, how do I say the word poor in German? You know, that's poor, like somebody lacking money, or, the poor baby. Can I get that one more time, Google? The word for poor in German.
Arm.
And hey, Google, can you tell me what is the word for my arm in German?
Arm.
One more time, Google, the word arm in German?
Arm.
Hey, Google, can you give me the word poor in German?
Arm.
Why, Germany? Why? Let me tell you the ridiculous scenario that plays in my head. So like what we're saying here is that somebody punches me in my arm. And I want to say, oh, my poor arm, it hurts, you know? Oh, my poor arm. I'm going to be like in German, My arm, my arm, my arm. Really, Jerk? My arm, my arm. I do enough arming, trying to navigate through your complicated language. And now that I think about it, if all of that isn't ridiculous enough for you, because I am the American, the army, just imagine, like, so other people see somebody punches me in the arm and they want to say, oh, the poor American and her poor arm. They would be like, oh, the army and her army arm. It's ridiculous and it makes me giggle. But they're not the same. So let's just move on to the next one. So for this next one, you know how, like, when you get a job and somebody may say that you should really climb the corporate ladder so that you can become a leader, or like in Germish, which is, you know, German and English mixed. I could talk about climbing the corporate ladder to become a leader. Hey Google, how do I say ladder in German?
Leiter.
That's interesting, Google. And what would I call the director of a big company, for example?
Der Leiter.
I'm sorry, Google. What was that word for director again?
Der Leiter.
And Google, what was the word for ladder again?
Leiter.
I'm telling you, every single one of these words here today, I have brought this up repeatedly with multiple German friends, mostly with a sense of humor and in good fun. But I'm telling you, most of them, typical German, if you ask them about these words, they won't agree with you once. But they're not the same. They will over and over repeat these words. I hear no difference in these words. There is no difference. Calling you out, Germany. Let's move on to the last one. Because like it or not, we gotta do it, Germany. We gotta talk about the Schwanz and the ridiculous hypothetical scenario that I play over in my sick mind. Let's talk about the D. The lack of difference in the word tail and dick. You see, folks, this is the one that set it all off for me. This is the one that made me giggle the most, that plays over in my head the most. Although I admit, my argument, I've never ever had to really use it. The events, the scenarios, the confusion that my fantasy likes to imagine could happen has honestly not yet happened. You see, listen to this. Google, how do I say dog tail?
Hundeschwanz.
So, Google, how do I say tail?
Schwanz.
And Google, if you would be so kind, how do I say dog dick?
Hundschwanz.
I'm sorry, Google. Could you give me the D again?
Schwanz.
And tail, one more time?
Schwanz. Schwanz.
There is no
Schwanz.
difference.
Schwanz.
But they're not the same. I'm calling you out, Germany. I can't tell you how many times you've looked me dead in the eyes and like I'm an idiot that can't hear something that is clearly there. Listen, you silly American. There is a difference. Listen. And I'm telling you, no. And so that's going to be our video today. I really do appreciate you being here. I'll be adding this video to the playlist on my channel labeled Some American in Germany Stuff. So if that's a topic you're into and you're new here, go check it out. I sort out the variety of themes that I speak about here by playlist on my channel. And if you enjoyed this, please don't forget to click like and consider subscribing. And don't forget that you can support this channel by clicking that join button down below and becoming one of my beloved members. You know, I do hope to be coming at you soon with another video. But because I'm not such a steady, regular uploader, it is recommended that you click that bell there so that you get notifications when I do upload. But until I get that next video out to you, until that happens, I do hope that you are over there, taking care of yourself. What are you still doing here? This video is over. The least you could do is check out some other stuff if you're going to hang around like this. I'm telling you, the video is over. You need to go now. You need to go home now.